Kathryn Porter's here, independent energy consultant. Kathryn, very good morning to you.
Good morning.
I mean, it's been a relatively quiet time, I think, but I guess the spending review will bring it all back into focus for us, because no doubt crazy Ed Miliband will have a bucket load of money coming his way.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's just not going to spend it on the right things. I was writing in the last few days about a day of absolute chaos we had on the power market on the 29th of May.
Yeah.
When our control room had to do almost 25,000 balancing actions. And the reason they had to do this was a combination of high wind but lower than expected. That caused a lot of people to book exports on the interconnectors that then had to be delivered by turning up gas power stations. And those 25,000 balancing actions are being done on software that's a literal relic from the days of privatization, written in the 1980s.
Yes.
So we have ancient digital infrastructure. We've got transformers from the 1960s blowing up in London. And so that's really where the money needs to be spent, rather than pouring more money into renewable subsidies.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, we've got a story this weekend as well saying the boss of British Gas, Centrica, says basically that Rachel Reeves should raise taxes to bring down energy bills. Well, I mean, that's all very well, but I don't think most people want to see any more actual individual taxes going up. Would you be in favour of the companies being taxed more?
Well, no, I actually do think that the renewable subsidies and the carbon taxes should be recovered through taxation rather than from bills. When they're added onto bills, particularly for households, this is extremely regressive, because the people who end up paying the most are the ones that can't afford to, say, improve their insulation, put in better windows or more efficient appliances. And they definitely can't afford heat pumps and electric cars and so on.
Right.
So I actually do think moving those levies to taxation is better. And also then they're less hidden. Taxes imposed by the Treasury is subject to a lot more scrutiny, and people look at them in terms of value for money, which at the moment nobody's really doing in terms of all of these subsidies. Yeah. So while I do think that raising taxes is a difficult thing, it's actually fairer, I think, in this case than putting it all on bills.
Yeah. Well, certainly people that I speak to don't really understand which bit of the bill is the tax, which bit of the bill is the subsidy, which bit of the bill pays for what. They don't really understand it. What I do get a lot of is people asking me why the standing charge keeps increasing without any real reason.
Well, actually, I can answer that.
Good.
It's something Ofgem's looked at quite a few times. Ofgem's powers are quite limited in this regard. And every time it's looked at this, it's concluded that although standing charges are hard for a lot of people, if you increase the unit cost, that would be extremely hard for the small number of people that rely on electricity to power medical devices in the home. And because there's no mechanism for those people to get reimbursed that money through the benefit system, Ofgem's left having to figure that out for itself. And so it's chosen to put higher standing charges for everybody, so that those relatively small number of people aren't disproportionately harmed by this, because what you don't want to have is people who can't afford to run those medical devices, then they would just have to go to hospital. And so because Ofgem doesn't have the power to say, right, those people should actually be supported in those bills through the benefit system, it's chosen to do it this way. And yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, but I can understand why they've done that.
Yes. And so, I mean, we're going to see a slight fall in energy prices coming up soon, aren't we? But that's presumably partly because it's coming into the warmer summer months. And I mean, well, it's supposed to be the warmer summer months.